Project Lead the Way's computer science principles has been built off of the framework put together by College Board in their AP Computer Science Principles framework. So it's important to understand, especially in schools that will be implementing the Project Lead the Way computer science principles as an AP course, to understand what that big picture is that was drawn from when this course was put together. So the computer science principles framework from AP identifies 6 different computational thinking practices and 7 different big ideas that make up the foundation of what College Board has identified as the principles of computer science. The computational thinking practices are the skills or the way of thinking about computer science that are hoped to be developed by the students as they work through this course. So they include connecting computing, which would be looking at all of the things that use computing in their world and identifying how they connect between each other. Creating computational artifacts, which is a skill of actually using the tools in computer science to create artifacts through the methods that are of computation, things that can be consumed by others, looked at by others, listened to by others, interacted with by others. Abstracting is the ability to reduce complexity in order to manage it, to look at things at a higher level of abstraction or a lower level of abstraction depending on what the need is at that moment. Analyzing problems and artifacts is an important principle of computer science that oftentimes computer science professionals are not creating something brand new, but they're looking and working with something that's already been created. They're looking at code that's been written by others, and they have to be able to look at that and be able to identify components of that, and also to be able to think about problems, both large and small scale, and think about what is going to need to be to solve these problems, and artifacts that might be created through computational means. Communicating is an important part of the computer science field because communicating with information and sharing thoughts and ideas with others is a major part of developing things with software and other ways. And finally, collaborating, which is highlighted through things like pair programming, working with the Agile Scrum framework, is the important need and skill for people working within computer science to be able to work with others, because no one can work in isolation. They're all working on improving things by working in collaboration with others. The big ideas then are the concepts or the content that's going to make up the computer science principles course and the basis of computer science. Creativity is one of the big ideas, and there's lots of opportunities in the course for students to express creativity with projects that they're working on and explore different creative avenues through computer science tools. Abstraction is a concept of, again, minimizing complexity by thinking about things in general terms. So high levels of abstraction will ignore details at a lower level of abstraction. But depending on what level you need to be working at might be dictated by the task that you're doing, or even by the coding language or the programming environment that you're working in. Data and information is a big idea in computer science principles. We're surrounded by digital data in this digital world and information, and figuring out how to process that data and extract meaning from that data is a major part of computer science. Algorithms are the language of computers. While there are different computer languages, they often share the same structural algorithms and computer science constructs, programming constructs across them. So understanding what algorithms are and there being step-by-step instructions that computers can execute, and the different types of algorithms that they're going to see across any kind of computing language. Programming is, of course, the actual computing languages that they're working with and creating programs to leverage the power of computing. And they're exposed to many different opportunities to create programs in computer science principles. The internet, obviously a big concept, but it's definitely a big idea in computer science principles, and the interconnected world that we live in where data is being shared across the globe, which leads directly into the global impact of computer science and how it really has transformed us into a global society with the sharing of information and the building of connections with people all across the globe and the changing of the way society functions and people live because of the power of computing and what it has done for our lives. So those computational thinking practices and big ideas have then been fleshed out by the College Board to create a series of enduring understandings, essential knowledge, and skills that students should be able to gain through a computer science principles course. And the Project Lead the Way Computer Science Principles course has been written to follow that framework and teach those skills, concepts, understandings to students in the class.